We need to clearly understand the values by which we live. Our concept of love is very different from the notion of love that exists in everyday life. The idea we have of ourselves shapes who we are. It's all about our subconscious attitude towards ourselves. An important point is that we need to love ourselves because all love starts with self-love. Each of us seems to think they are ready for finance, but finance itself offers two types of opportunities. On one hand, it is about fulfilling desires and creating an environment where we feel comfortable, cozy, efficient, and can achieve our potential. On the other hand, they push us towards impulsive actions, and often towards certain compromises or adventures. Our task, on one hand, is not to become closed off and conservative when we have money, and, on the other hand, to clearly understand where and how our money will be used. Directed so that they can later be converted into events, material assets, or new information that we can then use to further develop ourselves. And at the same time, we know that everything we build is based on balance. And balance is achieved by being happy and enjoying life. Remember, I mentioned that our top priority is happiness and pleasure, and everything is built on the energy of pleasure we experience right at the moment when we're doing something. And I am ready to list the activities you can engage in, but these are all everyday tasks, all everyday interactions. It is work, it is daily life, it is family, it is dreams, it is movies, it is music, it is the streets, it is politics, it is neighbors, it is taxes, it is interests, it is your entire lifestyle. And so, I will emphasize that each of us should still focus on these two components. They are, of course, based on love. But I will tell you honestly that our concept of love differs greatly from the concept of love that exists in everyday life, because it is distorted beyond recognition. I once gave many definitions of love, but one that we can apply right now is the ability to interact with the world around us, where there are a multitude of connections. Moreover, they are not semiconductors, but have a reverse effect. That is, we operate on the principle of the measure we use is the measure we get back. And these connections, they create a sense of love. And the more connections we have, where we accept the world, events, people, situations, objects, items, or some topics, and philosophical concepts just as they are, without judging them against our worldview and attitude toward life, then we have access to these energies, and through resonance, we can gain the ability, this energy, either into health or into luck, or into material assets, or into finances, or into the readiness and ability to receive the information that interests us. But with one small caveat, we will need to use this information in our everyday life. That is, today we are creating a certain volume of knowledge and opportunities for ourselves with which we interact, and through them we can connect with the world around us. Unfortunately, no matter what, we do all of this through the prism of our laws, our beliefs, our worldview, and our attitude toward what we divide into bad and good, right and wrong, evil and kind, black and white, permitted and forbidden. Moreover, we are only talking about ourselves right now. And unfortunately, because many of us lack honesty with ourselves, and honesty means clearly realizing what we are feeling, what emotions we have, what thoughts come to us, and what state or sensation we are in. Because this is a fundamental thing upon which everything is built. That is why I always say that, first, we identify ourselves as either a man or a woman. 1. Second is honesty with oneself. 2. And besides, this is a very important thing, because if we take and stop paying attention to those sensations, to those principles, to those laws, to those beliefs that control us, and turn a blind eye to them, and start acting not based on what we feel, but on what is considered right, then we place ourselves in a deep state of illusion, where our desires are hard to fulfill, and we do not understand why this happens and what needs to be done to change it. And when people ask me, why do I do techniques, do practices, thank everyone for everything, wish everyone love, but no changes for the better happen, and instead, I even slide back further. In that case, I say, guys, the problem here is honesty with yourself. And some don't understand this, but the understanding here is very simple. When we feel irritation, resentment, grievances, dissatisfaction, or some kind of worldview that we experience, but at the moment it does not align with the rules of the society we live in, and we push aside what we feel and how we relate to things, and start reacting to everything the way it is considered right, it creates intense inner tension. And this leads to, well, to put it simply, an overheating of all the circuits and chips that run our lives. Because there is a false perception of the world compared to how things really are. And look at the situation here. We are all energy. We consist of energy, and the image we have of ourselves is what shapes who we are. Figuratively speaking, we are either overweight or thin, athletic, or somewhat, well, sluggish. And we have either robust health or not so much. This is all our subconscious attitude towards ourselves. And an important point is that we need to love ourselves, because all love begins with self-love. And when we, for example, try to love someone or something, it comes down to how much we love ourselves. If we start loving, for example, business, cars, a person, children, a house, or work more than ourselves, we begin to experience internal conflict and tension. And in this case, we experience a state of duality, where we might do something emotional in the heat of the moment. The reason is that we can interact with the world around us. I am speaking from the premise that we act out of love, out of divinity, because we could talk about compensatory mechanisms, and we will talk about them too. But right now, we are talking about the ideal perception of the world that we interact with. And there, everything happens very simply. We take the state we are in. This is a state of agreement with oneself. You know, once Nicole did a live stream, I can't remember where, in Imaginarium or in Love Politics. And then she said that I always had the feeling that everything would be all right. Well, she phrased it slightly differently, in the sense that everything would be awesome. There, no matter what trials there are, no matter what happens in my life, there is an inner state of calm that everything will be fine. And you know, I caught myself thinking that when she said it, I had the same perception of the world. And when I asked the question, why do some people worry, fret, get tense, get nervous, or fall into deep depressions that are extremely hard to get out of? I saw a very clear answer. If we have an inner core, if we have certain values by which we interact with the world around us, again, yes, for now it is a belief, it is a worldview, it is an attitude toward life, but they do exist, and we are moving in a direction where we have no past, and because of that, no future, and we live in the present, always creating something new in the present that is unknown. But since we still live in a dual world, we have not yet fully united with the energies of the feminine and masculine principles. And we will talk more about this now, about the philosophy of the feminine and masculine principles. And we need to clearly understand the values we live by, because our value is transmitted to the world, resonates with it, and returns to us in the form that truly reflects our perception of this world.